Hi guys, Bomber here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we'll be doing the 4th chapter of the campaign of Captain LISTRATA, while also obtaining the bonus battle. So, since the bonus battle requirement is to not kill any cattle on the second battle of the chapter, and you'll understand better when we go on the second chapter, the fact is that we have to have a win condition which is not relying on attacking randomly on the opponent's board. So for example, a bounty or any units that attacks really can't be our win condition, because we risk on killing units. In particular, we risk on killing cattle on the second battle. Sorry. So for that reason, we need to run a deck which has a win condition, as a win condition a unit that does not attack, instead that produces resources. So for that reason, we run bishops as our main win condition. And since it is a very high costly card, we need to have the economy for that reason. And I opted for a build which is of bankers and benedictions, because banker is our economy unit, so we need the economy, as I say, to grab the bishops, because as I said, it's a very costly unit. But then the benediction is really nice because it works well with the bishops and the banker also. So I choose this economy setup because this economy unit really works well with benediction also, which works well with our win condition. So that's why I opted for this build. Then we also run 2 copies of loans, because we can accelerate even more our starting turns, for example by grabbing a banker and a palisade first turn, which is a pretty nice combo and pretty much deadly. And so for that reason I also choose to grab 2 palisades, because it's very nice to protect our bankers, and also bishops, even if they are a pretty much more defensive unit, because they come in with 3 HP, but having some palisades on, they are really cheap, and they really force our opponent to spend much more resources to kill our board every time. And this will be very handy when the bonus battle kicks in, but you will see that later. So, our first opponent is Castellan Verat. As you can see, his hero power is Alice Activate on play. So definitely a pretty strong hero power, and also he runs units that are not that great, that does not have that great on-turn effects, so it's not really overpowered, because for example with catapults or ballistas that will be pretty aggressive. Instead he only runs militias and knights, so it's even a bit better. But in fact we can't leave them on board, because you may think that since the allies activate on play, I let them stay on the board so that they can't come back, and so they will not activate on play. But you will see that he has some cards, like for example, I can't remember the name, but the cards that gets +1 school for each allies in play, and so we can't leave them on the board when those cards restock, so we need to have a way to clear them. But anyway, as our deck goes, as I said, the first turn banker palisade combo is pretty nice, and so we can achieve it right now, so we are pretty lucky, and we'll obviously do it. And as you can see, he can't also clear our board, because the militia activate on play, but the palisade obviously protected our banker, and for that reason I continue getting another banker. And I think that I will kill it, because he will probably grab a marshal next turn, and the militia will attack, and the marshal will come in play and activate another time the militia, so one of our banker will die. Instead, if I kill it, probably it will retaliate, but it did not even retaliate, and so our banker are pretty much safe. So as you can see, our bankers both survived, and so we can grab a bishop and also protect even more our board with another palisade. And so as you can see right now, we pretty much built our board pretty well. There is no point in grabbing another bunker. Instead I will not buy it to actually increase my chances to not restock another bunker. We did, but that's fine. So right now we definitely need to kill the marshal, and obviously the marshal is another card that pretty much obliges us to kill his board, because if we let him be, that will be pretty much a very amount of attacks per turn, so we need to clear them. Luckily enough, our bishop stayed on board, and also we need to kill the fire ship, but we do not have the resources for it, so we have to take it. right now we need really to restock a Benediction, because that's pretty much another of our win condition. Our main win condition is obviously the bishop, but obviously the more Benediction we have, the more the bishops will activate, and so that's obviously much better. The Palisade instead is always nice to grab, because as I said, every time we put a Palisade on play, if we do not have any allies at all, that's fine, they will stick on the board. But if we just have a bunker, you can see that right now he needs 6 more resources to kill a 1 health unit, so he definitely scales up the resources our opponent has to spend every turn to kill our board, so definitely pretty nice. So right now we can go for a bunker just to grab a bit more of economy, and then a Benediction to actually start activating our bishops if we actually reroll in some more. And as you can see, another plan for this deck is to go infinite, because when we have at least 2 Benediction on the deck, we can go infinite, and with just 1 bishop on the board, we can obviously produce infinity resources. And so that's another win condition if actually the games goes long enough. We can rely it even on a naughty K for that reason. So for that, since I said it, let's try to get to that strategy, and let's go for the infinite. And as you can see, the bunker has a big role in it, because we can actually afford to not play the coins in our hand, and actually the bunker benefit even more from this strategy. So if they stick on the board, that will be GG, and we can get to the infinite even more reliably. So as you can see, we have the economy done, and we did also grab another Benediction. So if we go to 11 card in hand, we will have the infinite. So let's try and go for it. Another nice addition to the deck would be the Synod to get even faster the infinite, but with this build it's much more consistent to grab all the other combo pieces. So the Synod would accelerate the infinite strategy, but in this way it's just another win condition. Instead, it's pretty much more consistent the other win condition, to just rush down your opponent and to build a board that they can't clear. So, but right now, since the game went long enough, we can go for the infinite as a second plan, we can say. So I'm sure that we just, as I said, we just needed 1 more coin, but we have lethal actually. So let's kill our opponent. GG. We were only 1 coin away from the lethal, so from the infinite, sorry, but we got to the lethal first, so that's fine. And as you can see, the second battle is where the bonus requirement kicks in, and now you understand why we don't need to kill the cattles, and where those cattles came from. They come from the hero power of Castellanvert another time, and it reads each turn plus 2 cattle. And the cattles by themselves are not that threatening, because they are just 2 health bodies that do nothing. But that's the problem, the Cattle Stampede, that it's a card that costs 3 gold and reads all cattle attack. And so you can pretty much understand that even on the 5th turn, he will have 10 cattles, and the Cattle Stampede will hit for 10 every time he plays it. So that's definitely pretty much threatening. And we need to be fast enough to just build a very huge board, so that we can just take the hit. Actually, our unit will take the hit instead of us, or we just need to rush him down so that he will not have too many cattles on play. And hopefully the second thing I said, it's preferable. So let's go for a bunker, because I think that he will not be able to kill it, and obviously we can protect him with a Palisade. And obviously, yes, he would have played the Cattle Stampede, obviously, but that's fine, because we actually forced him to play the Cattle Stampede, and right now it was only 2 damages compared to what will be on the next turn. So getting him to play the Cattle Stampede early is preferable, so that we will not play it later when it will be much more damage. So right now let's go for a Palisade, then hopefully redraw the bunker. Obviously we did not. That was a pretty low chances to get that. But that's fine, let's try another time, and we did not. Also the Davener Charm did not proc. So right now we did redraw it, and we can also go for a bishop or a benediction. I'll probably go for a bishop because, as I said, we need first to build our board and then activate it some more times thanks to the benediction. And also, if the bunker survives, we can grab the benediction next turn, hopefully. So let's just kill those militias also, because they will attack anyway next turn. So by killing them, you are getting less damages as the turn goes on. It's like one attack per turn. So if they retaliate, instead it's only one attack that turn only. So it's better to just kill them. And right now I will go for a benediction, because next turn anyway our board will be killed. Instead with the bishop, with the benediction we can activate our bishop and get some more resources, which are always fine. So then let's hope that we redraw some stuff. And also the Palisades are always welcome, because they, as I said, they force our opponent to spend more resource every turn, and also just defend our hero from all those attacks. So right now we did redraw the bunker, and also our opponent is not restocking too much cattle stampedes, which is very nice, because the E is not too aggressive. Also the loan is fine, because we can grab another bunker or a benediction, and this time I will go another time for a benediction, because I really want to grab as many resources as possible, and also because I will grab the bunker later anyway. So let's go for it, and hopefully they will stick on the board. Also, he's not still restocking the cattle stampede, so that's fine. Let's grab a benediction first, so that we increase our chances to redraw some other stuff, but we did not, but that's fine. So a Palisade is always welcome, but at this point I will much gladly accept another benediction, but that's fine. Let's grab the Palisade, and right here I did a misplay, because I should have played the benediction first, but we are redrawing a bunch of them, so that's fine. So another benediction restocked, so that's very nice. Always play the card in bank first, because that will increase your hand size, and so increase the chance of redrawing stuff on all the others redraws that you will do that turn. And also right now let's go for and try to go for our infinite. We'll probably not get to the infinite point, but since we have a sustainable economy, by getting more coins into the hand, we increase our chances to redraw non-coins cards, which are bad, and so we increase our chances to redraw benedictions and stuff. So let's go for it. So we did not redraw anything, and on the first turn we try and go for that strategy. It's probably worse, because the 3 redraws per turn has more chances to redraw stuff. Instead only drawing 1 card per turn thanks to the card that you buy from the bank, it's worse, but on the later turns when you will have a bunch of coins into the hand, the chances are so high that it's probably better. So right now let's heal, because we do not have any use for our apples, if not for the healing, and our opponent did restock a cattle stampede, so it's better to just heal back. So we also did get a benediction, and we are probably really close to lethal. He has just 13 health, 30, sorry, and I did not see how he did heal so much. So as you can see, right now the cattle stampede is hitting for a very huge amount, and so we need to heal even more. So right now we will have a pretty huge deck size, so we probably redraw a bunch of stuff, but we did not. So let's just heal, because really we just need to survive, and we can always go for the infinite for the OTK. So we just need to survive, really. He did not restock the cattle stampede, which is luckily for us, because if so, we will probably be dead. So right now let's heal and just wait. We are probably 1 coin away from going to for the infinite, probably. Let's see. Yes, so next turn we will go for the infinite, and we probably will survive, so that's GG. We also have 2 benedictions on the deck, so the infinite can actually pull off, and so that's GG. You also have more than 1 bishop, so let's see this combo going. I think that it's probably a good amount of resources, so let's just kill our opponent. GG. Then, on our third match, we are against Monteferro Siani, and his hero power reads starts with 2 ramparts, and he has a bunch of resource-generating allies, like for example Wealthy Patron and Winter, and we can't actually interact with his board on the first turns, because he has 2 ramparts on play, so that's definitely a huge wall that we can't go through. So definitely we instead need to rush him down even faster, and we are pretty lucky to just restock a bunker and a palisade, so we can go for the first turn combo that I said. So we can protect our bunker behind the palisade, and our bunker will generate a bunch of gold so that we can grab bishops and stuff. So let's see if the wishing coin procs, and it did not. If so, we could have grabbed the bishop 1 turn earlier. So let's go for another bunker, and right now we will have a pretty huge economy, and the Benediction will grant us a bunch of resources. So let's go for a Benediction right now, because the bunker will generate 2 golds more, since we will have 2 coins more in hand, and so we'll gain more resources from that. And also let's go for another bunker so that we can really grow our economy to try and go for the infinite, because in this matchup is probably required as a win condition. So right now 1 bunker will die, but that's fine. Let's grab another Benediction so that we can generate even more gold and resources with the bishop. And the next turn we will probably be able to interact with this board if the bishop survives, but he obviously doesn't. But we can get another one, and also we did redraw a bunch of Benedictions. Let's see if we can regrab the other bishop and some more Benedictions. So, we have 13, so we can kill the Marshal, and we'll probably do it because the Wealthy Patron and the Bishop will activate once more, and that's pretty threatening, so let's kill the Marshal. And right now we really hope that he does not redraw the ramparts, because, as I said, they force us to spend a bunch of resources every turn to kill his board, or the units we want to kill. So let's kill the Marshal, the Wealthy Patron, and also the Inquisitor, I think. But it's probably better to kill the Bishop, because he will generate more resources for the Inquisitor to use, so it's better to kill the Bishop instead. Two of our bunkers will die, but the Bishop will stay on board, so they will generate more resources. And right now we can try and go for the infinite, because we have a pretty good amount of bishops and bunkers into our deck, and also of Benediction, so it's just a matter of time, and we have the economy to go for it. So let's just kill a bunch of his allies, since we can. And next turn we'll try to go for the infinite. We just need to wait 6 turns, sorry. So it's probably doable. And in the meantime, we could actually kill our opponent before we get to the infinite, because we are generating a bunch of resources every turn. So let's see. And yeah, in fact I think that's GG. So let's kill our opponent. So, as you see, the bonus battle requirement is not cattle killed, so let's go to the bonus battle. And the bonus battle is against Sophocatro, and his deck is very similar to a Sophoroption, a deck that I brought to the channel as a farming deck. And he also has a deck full of Ferryman's Stall, so definitely a pretty aggressive deck. And for that reason, I say that the Palisade will probably be the most valuable card in this matchup, because every time we have a Palisade on play, he needs to spend much more skulls than if we did not have them. to just kill, for example, a bunker. So every time we play a bunker and a bunch of Palisade, he needs to kill all those Palisades to kill just one health unit. So Palisades are definitely pretty good to slow him down. And also the bishops will be preferable to the bunker, because since they have 3 health, there will be 3 more resources every turn. So let's go for a bishop, an early bishop, just to get the pressure on board. He will probably die because the ferryman souls activate pretty frequently. In fact, he did die. And as you can see, we did restock the first Palisade, so that's definitely nice. We did also redraw the bishop, so we can slow him down even more. So let's grab a Palisade and just wait. Bunker are also obviously useful because we can get even more cards so that we can put more pressure on him. So let's just pass. So let's grab a Loan and get another bishop. So that will be, if we, every time we redraw the bishop, right now every turn if we redraw all our deck, that will be 8 resources to kill our board. So that's really fine. Also, we did restock the bunkers that will accelerate our economy. So let's, but we will not get him right now because we want to wait when we can also play a Benediction, so that it will be better. Let's grab a bishop and just wait for the bunker Benediction combo, because as I said, we just need to build our board and slow him down. And the bishops are more, they have a bigger body, so every time he needs to spend more resources than the bunker, obviously. And also let's wait until the loans cycle back on our deck, so that we can get a turn when we can actually play all our cards in the bank, and then play the Benediction and hopefully let them activate a bunch of times. So right now the Benediction will bump out of the bank, so that's unfortunate. But we couldn't do anything really, so let's just get it. And also the bunker will bump out of the deck, so that's really unlucky. I think I must wait another turn to grab the loan. I want to redraw the loan from our deck so that we can get, as I said, a big turn when we play all our cards in the bank, and hopefully activate all our allies with the Benediction if it restocks. So let's just grab a Palisade instead and just keep the loan into our hands so that we can get a bigger turn next turn. We are pretty close to dying, so we'll also heal this turn. So let's grab a loan and another one. Let's put a bunker and a bishop on the board. And as you can see right now, we pretty much did get a huge board. Also, let's get another Palisade. And we do not have any Benediction into our deck, I think, so that we can't activate all of them. We also will heal since we are close to death, and we do not have any way to spend our apples on allies or some stuff. So as you can see, he did spend all his resources to kill our board, so we did slow him down, and that's fine. We also did restock a Benediction, but we need to wait for the loans to expire probably to grab the Benediction. So let's just re-get all our board into place, so that he will need to spend his resources. And the Malediction is better if we have the bishops, because it will actually only hit them for 1 health, and so he will still need to kill them with 2 other resources. Instead, the bunker will die with the Malediction, obviously if we do not have any Palisades on play. So the bishops are better even for that reason, because they are they are stronger against the Malediction. So our loan did expire, and I will probably keep a bishop to just get, as I said, a bigger turn next turn. So right now let's hope that we redraw a bunch of loans. We did not restock any, redraw, sorry. So that's unfortunate. Let's see if the wishing coin procs, and it did proc, so that we can grab probably a Benediction if another wishing coin procs, and it did, so that's fine. And also we did, that was a pretty lucky turn, so that we can grab the bunker. and let's play the Benediction when we have a bunch of coins into our hand, so that we can grab a bunch of economy. So that's a pretty huge turn, and I'm pretty happy about it. We were pretty lucky, but that's the way it is. The campaign, it's very based on the luck, because our opponents are really strong, and we just need to get all the things right to make it work. So let's heal, and just let's wait for the Loan for next turn to get another bigger turn. Also, he did redraw the Malediction, so our board will be much more weaker to that card. But right now we'll go for it. So let's grab a bunch of bunkers so that our Benediction will be huger. So right now it's a good time to play the Benediction, because you want a good amount of allies, and you want also to hopefully redraw the Benediction a bunch of times. So that's why I kept on waiting to play the Benediction. If you play it early, you will have more chances to redraw it, but if you play it lately, you are sure to have a bigger board, and so that Benediction that you play will be it will have a much more big impact. So that's your choice. So if you want to risk it and try to redraw it a bunch of times, or if you want one Benediction which is pretty strong, only one. And in that case we did not redraw it any time, so that was only one Benediction which was pretty strong. So right now you see that he is generating a really huge amount of skulls per turn, so that we need to constantly replace our board, or our allies on our board, so that he needs to clear them. And so we are pretty much on a clock right now. And also all those knights are eaters every turn that we can't really clear, because they have too much health, and they will probably come back anyway. So we just need to accept them. So right now there is no point in trying to get a bigger board, because he has also a Malediction, so all our allies will probably die. So let's just wait for another turn. He kept the Malediction, so actually the EI is probably smart. So right now let's play a Benediction, and right now we are trying to redraw it more times than before. We did redraw it, so that's lucky for us. If we just redraw it some more, we are really close to killing him. And right now I'll probably go for the infinite strategy, because we do not have too many loans on play, and we will probably redraw all our deck pretty much consistently. So let's try and go for it. Actually we are just 4 behind lethal, so we are pretty close. So as you can see, he did clear all his board. Let's hope that we redraw a bunch of stuff, and we did not redraw anything. So that's always like that. So anyway, we are just return behind going for the infinite, if we do not kill our opponent before. So let's just hope that we are lucky enough to redraw at least a Benediction. So, and we did. But we are still, I think, not able to kill our opponent, so let's just heal. Let's just check. I have 34, and he has... no, that's not lethal, so let's just wait. And we did not redraw anything, so since we just need another turn, I think. Yes, next turn it will be lethal. Let's just heal back all we can, so that we do not risk anything, or at least we risk the least we can. And so right now that's GG, probably. Let's see if we have 2 Benedictions on the deck. I don't know if I did buy 2 of them. If we did not, the combo will actually not pull off, because we need at least 2 cards to cycle through all our deck. So let's see. And as you can see, we only have 1 Benediction, and so the combo did actually not pull off. Because when we play the Benediction, since we have no other cards in the deck that cycles, it will not draw a card. The Benediction will go in the deck, and we did not redraw anything from that. And so actually we will not go infinite. But I think that's lethal anyway, so let's see. I'm too lazy to count up all this stuff, so let's just see if we are lethal, and I think we are. So yeah, that's GG. GG Sofocatro. Chapter done. So, that's it for this video. Hope you liked it and find it useful. Be sure to leave down below a comment to let me know what you want to see in the next videos, and as always, see ya!